I will say this: if you're husband material, you will find a wife. Period. Point blank. You'll attract that, or you will make a woman that may not, be ready to be a wife, wise up and become a wife just so you can, just so you can be her husband. So, yeah, like that.
How has divorce shaped the way men think about relationships today?
In general, I
He
don't
did.
think
He did. Hey,
divorce,
Will. He did say we had a time limit, so keep that in mind, brother.
you dirty dog. You dirty, rotten scoundrel. I'm going to waste 30 of my 60 seconds disrespecting Hink. I
know
think
that's right.
that in general, it has not affected relationships. Wait. Repeat the question one more time. Hink threw me off. My bad. Hink, you threw me off.
How has divorce shaped the way men think about relationships today?
Gotcha. I don't think divorce has drastically reshaped how men look at relationships in general. I think it's talking points. I think men in general are talking about it more, but I don't think men in general are shying away from marriage more. I think the men who have something to lose is shying away from marriage more. High income earning men who live a complex life where they have a lot to lose, but the average black man making $40,000 to $50,000 a year, $55,000 a year, same song and dance. It ain't changing how they react to marriage at all.
All right. Anybody else on how has divorce shaped the way men think about relationships today?
So I
Well,
agree
look,
with
go
what
ahead.
Will was saying. Was I don't know. Maybe I misunderstood you, Will. Did you say the high earners are shying away from marriage? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it impacts high earning people a little. They second guess it more so than the average guy in America is not being affected by divorces the way we talk about it on the internet.
Oh,
Unless
it's
you
funny you
come to
say
the
the high earners.
children. The children conflict still exists no matter what income bracket you're in.
You try
Yeah,
to keep it toward
it's
divorce,
funny.
though.
You were saying high earners are kind of shying away because I just read somewhere not too long ago. Your boy's about to Jalen Hurts about to get married. And ain't got no prenup. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I didn't expect that, but I don't know. And even if they do have a prenup, they're still not shying them away from marriage. Now, of course, that prenup could kind of help the situation out, maybe lighten some of the burdens, but it still doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And then I think the thing you saying about divorce, look, man, it wasn't even a money that it really affected me as far as the divorce. Mine was more so missing out on my opportunity to have my son in my life on a full-time basis. That's hurt me more. Now, I don't know if a lot of other men, especially men who are well off, maybe their motto is, yeah, I'm going to lose all this money. I got to pay all this money out and do that and that. Maybe so. But I bet I'm assuming that maybe the average man who doesn't have a lot of money, that's probably not going to hurt, but he's more worried about maybe the situation as far as the kids. That's just my point of view.
All right, go ahead, Dara.
Man, it's a number of things. There's so many ways to answer this. I would say it rewires how men think about commitment. It completely reshapes the whole mentality on how they go into committed relationships. Uh, Another thing is when you're a bystander, when you witness, like for example, Hink. Let's just say Hink got a divorce and he got, obliterated in the courtroom and he lost everything he had or half of what he worked for by himself. It affects me. It impacts me, my mindset on me going into relationships. So when you witness your friends getting destroyed in the courtroom or in divorce, it actually has a impact on people who's just bystanding, that haven't even stepped over the line and got any skin in the game or even got into it. So, and then a lot of the complaints that I've been able to discover is that whenever these men are getting into these relationships, it used to be about love. It's now it's like survival. You know what I'm saying? But some of these women start changing up on you. It's a matter of keeping them around as a necessity. You know, not that you want them. It's just necessary for me to keep you around so that I don't lose everything I had. And then you got a lot of women today that just taking the sacredness out of the whole union, out of what marriage is supposed to be. It's no spiritual, or there's no divine energy that used to wrap around the whole essence of marriage. That's gone, because usually that would just give you some hope that she would do what's right and, you know, get away from her feelings. But it's just so many things, man. And I don't want to give up too much. I'm going to leave some on the table for somebody else to eat from.
So Doc, can I ask you this though? Before you make our take on that mindset, wouldn't you want to have a conversation with the individuals on why they got divorced?
Yeah, I think that's what's happening. I think it's the guy that's leaving the courtroom is going back and reporting back, saying, look, man, my life is in shambles. And you got to try to imagine this coming from a guy that's 50, 60. It's hard to try to get that back. You know what I'm saying? Versus getting divorced at 25 or 30. You know what I'm saying? You get divorced at 25, 30, you can go get back a lot of that stuff. When you 50, 60, I don't even know. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't even know you got the energy for that. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of get Will's point on, I don't know if he was trying to make the point that the guys who earn more, you know what I'm saying, they got a lot of money. They could, fuck it, I lost half. Oh, well, I'll go get me another wife. We'll do it again. I think
hell to the no. Let me make sure y'all don't misconstrue what I'm saying. No.
Okay.
So higher income earning men don't mean they balling out of control. It just means guys who can get hit in the head with alimony on top of child support. See, it's hard to hit a guy making $50,000 a year with alimony. I mean, chances are the woman is making the same amount of money he's making. But when you start making 100, 120, 150, you could get not only hit with child support, but you also can get hit with alimony. You could get hit with maintaining the mortgage on a house while you got to go try to find another place to live. Now, you're not balling out of control to be able to sustain all of that, but it doesn't mean that they won't hit your pockets. And it's not the same for everybody, but there's people that get taken to the cleaners in these situations.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like somebody like Michael, let's say like Michael Jordan. You got Michael Jordan money. I think his first, I don't know if he got, was it his first wife?
Juanita took 250 mil.
Right. So she took 250 million. Somebody like that with that kind of wealth, they go get married again. Nothing. They're gonna get it back. But somebody like that don't have that money and they got to go accrue all that, and they don't even know if they could get it back. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like any sign, any red flag, anything, any little talk back that I get, like that's gonna scare them. I'm like, oh no, I'm not finna marry this woman. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're on eggshells whenever you vetting these women out, because a lot of them, whether you like it or not, they bait and switch. You know, they carry this persona that they gonna be your ride or die, but then when they get to the altar and get the ring, they start turning to this other person. You know what I'm saying? Or when you get a woman pregnant, you can see that they start changing and turning to a different person with the postpartum. You can see that in that essence. So I'm like,
Hank, if you don't put the timer on Darwin, if you don't put the timer,
no, go ahead, Will.
So check this out. The only problem with that is
he just gonna sit there. He's just gonna sit there and let you monopolize all this time. You dirty dog, Hank.
He's real good at that.
So if statistically,
Middle and lower class groups are actually the ones who are opting out of marriage at a higher rate than people who are upper middle class and all that. So the lower your income, it kind of supports what Darwin is saying. Whereas, which is the part that I agree with, if you don't have it, then it's worse for you, right? You could potentially be in a way worse situation. If you are more established, then you are more likely to be able to bounce back after a situation like that. Whereas if you are broke or just kind of making it in that kind of middle ground, 50,000, that'll leave you in shambles, right? Versus you having some expendable income. That, I think it's way worse, even though it may seem like you would have more to lose as a person more wealthy. They're not the ones that are opting out as much. There's been an overall decline altogether, but the middle and lower class groups have dropped off even further.
It makes tears want to come to my eyes that this topic comes up, and to hear people that have given me lashes have to create a narrative to fit the question. And now they have to truly admit that everything I said is correct. I'm going to use Trev Smooth's words. The juice ain't worth the squeeze nowadays. If you look at it logically, why would you put yourself in a position where you're risking to lose it all if a woman is giving you a false representation of who she is, and you're on a hope? And I'm only being fair because there are successfully married men on this panel that have made homes and families, but they got their lotto ticket. But they got to be honest and say they seen the train wreck many a times with people that they like and love, believing that it could be forever with somebody, and they get torn apart. Disdain, parent hating parent not giving to the kids because the mother's misusing funds. We could take it to the rich people. The most richest women in this world have accrued their wealth from what? Divorce. So now when I say what I say, I'm not just that bitter old man over 50. I'm someone that looks at it holistically. Are you willing to take that leap of faith and trust somebody that you can open up and they'll be there to wipe your ass when you're sick and in need? You know how many stories they got of women leaving men when they're stricken with cancer, or they're invalids and they no longer want to take care of them, and they said the mental anguish is on me because now I have to take care of this person and he's half vegetable. What about me? There was always the medicine in the Kool-Aid when I said what I said, and it always comes and spins the block 360. I'm not admonishing people for getting married, but you want to be very careful because yesteryears ain't today. And the things don't work out for, let's say, men. They don't work out in your favor 9 times out of 10. I land there.
Do you guys believe there are no wives left? Are women truly wife material today? Or is it just harder to find them?
I will say this: if you're husband material, you will find a wife. Period. Point blank. You'll attract that, or you will make a woman that may not, be ready to be a wife, wise up and become a wife just so you can, just so you can be her husband. So, yeah, like that.
Okay. Yeah, I get why men would not want to get married, especially like post 50 or whatever. If you're not in the process of trying to start a family, it doesn't really make like financial sense for you to run out and put your assets and all those things at risk, right? You are in a position where if you're on the dating market, you pretty much have like 5 to 1 or 20 to 1. I forget the exact numbers, but there are multiple women out here that you can be. So you just in a position where it's kind of lose-lose. If you find somebody and it doesn't work out and they take half, then you burn. And if you remove yourself from the dating market at this point, you don't get to get the benefits of your success and hard work. And if this is the first chance or the best chance you've had to excel and have access to different women and options and all those things, you kind of limit the possibility of what maybe you envisioned your life to be. Not everybody envisioned themselves being married and just having a, being married and being at home with their women. Some people have wanted to be lifelong bachelors. And I'm not knocking that. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you wanted to do, that's what you want to do. It's your life, and you need to live it to the ability that you want to live it. So yeah, I completely get it. Then you hear the horror stories. To the point earlier, I do know somebody that got divorced, and it did break them apart. Lost the house, access to his child, and then recently the mother of the child ended up passing away, and he's, I guess, in a custody battle for the child with the family of the child. So it's some horror stories out there. I get how that could be a lot to just step into just on a leap of faith. Like I get it. I honestly get it. I ain't really got too much argument for those men. If it's something you want to do, then yeah, you'll dedicate yourself to finding a way to do it. If not, I completely understand, especially in your latter years when you just want to keep what you earned and enjoy the rest of your life. It makes sense. I ain't gonna hold you. It makes sense.
I can't connect the dots on what Sherm said. I'm trying to understand it, but if you can enlighten me, man. You said that if you're a marriage-minded man, like that's more like you made it seem like it was a for sure thing, guaranteed that you can just make a woman who's not even showcasing qualities of a wife or even the mindset of being a wife into a wife. It's where I'm lost at.
Were you talking to me?
Yeah, I was talking to you, Sherm.
Oh yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, man, I feel like a man is a leader. Like you can lead people to do anything you want if you have those leadership qualities. So if a woman is interested in you and she wants to be with you, you can lead her astray, or you can lead her to be a wife. You can lead her to do almost anything you want. You know what I mean? So it's like, say, I mean, that's just how I look at it, man. In my experiences, personally, I'm not saying that you could turn a hoe into a housewife. I don't know, but I know some people that actually has, and they have successful marriages. You know what I mean? But everything is not a one size fits all. But I do feel like, like, say, if you were to get with a successful woman, you'll be more on point to be with that successful woman than you will be with the woman that's not doing too much. You know what I mean? So say if a woman is like, okay, I get to date Michael Jordan or a dude that's a bus driver, she gonna be super on point for a dude like Michael Jordan rather than she would the guy that's a bus driver. You know what I mean? People will step up to your
That sound like
level.
a gold digger. That don't sound like a woman who's
I
has a
mean, bro,
mindset
that's
of
what
a
it's. Everybody's an opportunist at the end of the day. A
well,
woman isn't
what you
looking
said.
at you for who you are. A woman is looking at you for what you can do for her.
Well, you
Well,
can't use leadership in that story. That's not a matter of leadership. That's a matter of showcasing assets in money. And that's not a matter of leadership.
well,
Because
I mean,
go
the
ahead,
the
my bad.
money
Go
is
ahead.
just that's a small faction of it, bro. You still have to be a leader with the money too. The
gentlemen,
money's
So
a
so it
small
sounds like you're
factor.
saying the reason for a man not finding a wife or even losing his wife is a matter of him not having any leadership.
I mean, hey, that's shit. That's you're the head, bro. It's God, man, woman, and children.
Well,
You know
so
what I mean?
Darwin,
So, man,
Darwin, I
go
got a
ahead,
question.
Venus.
I got a question. I'm gonna back you on this, Sharon. I believe every man that I've ever spoken to that has been divorced or got a divorce, they the the mature ones were able to acknowledge the fact of I messed up here. I could have done this better. They're able to acknowledge where it is that the relationship may have went south and they gave up on it. So I think what Sherm was saying initially is that uh, if he's willing and able to be a husband and he's intentional about it, that the woman that he's looking for or waiting for is eventually going to find him or be attracted to him, so that he can be able to decipher between the group who it is that he wants to marry. So I when I heard Sherm say that, that's what I heard.
You heard the poetry in it. Faith without work is what?
It's dead. So
Okay, so
that's why you put yourself in the position. That's why you put yourself in the playing field in order to do such. So I get all of the horror stories. I understand all of that. I've heard all of that as well. And that is a big reason why I waited until I knew for sure that not only was I ready, but also the woman that I chose was ready.
okay,
So I
Viz.
think
Real quick.
let me
All right,
finish.
sorry.
So yeah, they can take half. Yeah, people have women have destroyed men without a doubt. If you're scared about your money, get a prenup. Right? If that's really a big issue, go about it the legal way. There's ways to get around it. But I think that when we put this blanket fear over it, I think that it takes away the power and the impact that marriage has on society, the power that love has on men and women, and how important it is for our children. So if we're diminishing the value of marriage now to the extent that we are, just imagine how it is going to be for the next generation. I was watching a guy, and he was saying,
Hold on. Who diminished it though? Was it us or was it the women?
Nobody. I don't know how he got that.
I'm just speaking on what I came in on. So
Respectful.
it sounded more so like the joint message was, as you, Kenny, said in the words of Trev, that the juice isn't worth the squeeze. But there's plenty of married men out there that would say that that's not true, that it's the complete opposite.